Pierre, after all the talk, all the speculation, you're finally an Arsenal player. How does it feel?
I'm talking about Aubameyang is an Arsenal boy. I'm looking at a fucking picture of him with Big Daddy Wenger. He's pulled it out of the bag again. This is for the ones who can. Bro. What's going on, people? Welcome back to another video. My name is hughwizzy, and today we've got a lot to talk about, baby. Transfer deadline day, Christmas Eve for football fans, and there's been plenty going on, hasn't there? Ins and outs, especially at Arsenal Football Club. Pierre-Emerick! Wow.
Arguably one of the deadliest strikers in Europe. Look at his goal scoring record. Why aren't other teams interested in him? I can't believe.
Why aren't other teams interested in him?
That is what I don't understand. Chelsea, even some of the big clubs. Okay, he's 28, 29, is he? Deadly striker, top quality, can hold the ball up, run in behind. The boy's the real deal. Mkhitaryan, Aubameyang, going forward, Arsenal are sorted.
The correct pronunciation is Aubameyang. Aubameyang.
Say it again.
Aubameyang.
How would you say it?
Aubameyang.
No, shut up. You just cloned what he just said. How would you normally say it?
I spoke to a German football expert called Kevin Hatchard, who's very good with pronunciations, and that's what he said. That's how Aubameyang pronounces it himself. That's
Aubameyang.
What we go by.
Aubameyang.
You don't do the yang or yang or whatever at the end, it's yong.
Right.
Aubameyang.
What we don't have at the moment is a player that can actually really occupy two centre-halves. Yeah. I think, like I said, he likes to hold up on one, but Aubameyang's movement, his strength as well, and his speeding behind, I think it'll cause a lot of trouble. And I think the way that Mkhitaryan and him link up, because of the way they know each other.
I think that after Sid Alexis, because Mkhitaryan, Henrik I should say, and Aubameyang, they come in, two of them together would be superb.
£56 million, 55 million, whatever it is. We've signed Aubameyang, lads. 2 bids initially rejected by Dortmund, and this fee in itself means to me that this guy is going to be starting. Lacazette quite possibly is going to become our second choice striker. To get the deal done, I've actually paid for Michy Batshuayi to go on loan to Dortmund. I think just under £1.5 million, that loan fee. As far as I'm concerned, this is a massive improvement, lads. A massive improvement. And when you couple it with the fact that Mesut Ozil has just signed a new 3.5-year contract, the glory days may well be back. Let's not get too excited. Lots of work to do still. And we kiss goodbye to the sweet prince, Olivier Giroud. I have to say that I'm more upset about Olivier Giroud going to Chelsea, than I am about Alexis Sanchez going to Manchester United. The fact remains that one of them wanted to be here. One of them wanted to stay. One of them constantly gave us his all. The other is debatable. And even with Giroud, let's not forget those late night escapades, those 2, 3 in the morning hotel romps with women that weren't your wife, the apologies you had to make before Champions League games, you know, when we were forced to play Yaya Sanogo up front, when you went on a 16-game goal drought costing us the title, which we lost to Leicester City. Let's not forget those things, you know. Let's not forget Olivier Giroud missing umpteen chances from 2 or 3 yards out, over and over again. One of the most frustrating strikers to watch in the history of Arsenal Football Club. However, he's someone that grew on me. He put 100% effort in, and we found a place for him. He was a super sub. Incredible impact he had in those last 15-20 minutes where you could bring him on and just swing balls into the box with him. He's great at holding the ball up. Fantastic first touch. You know, I think it's a great deal. £19 million for a guy who is probably worth 30, let's say, in this market at least. You know, he's someone that I have learnt to love. But make no mistake about it, we've just signed a guy who can run. I know that might sound ridiculous, right? But when you've been watching Olivier Giroud for nigh on 6 years, you know, Aubameyang has it all. He's got all the tools needed to be an absolute roaring success in the Premier League. Make no mistake about it, this guy is electrifying, but not that bad with his head either. He can hold the ball up. Not as well as Giroud, I don't think, but he is capable. Even though he's not very strong, the other thing is that, you know, not only can he really help us to push on, but also he has got to be part of the reason why Mesut Ozil is staying. This is you know, normally I would say that this is papering over the cracks. Last night against Swansea was evident that there's a lot of work still to be done. But the fact remains, this is a very big deal. This is a sensational transfer. There are very few front men who excite me as much in Europe as Aubameyang. And I really hope it works out. He's taken the number 14. He said that he wants to be the new Thierry Henry, and physically, if you look at him, he is certainly the closest specimen that we have had to Thierry since the Great One left. 141 goals in 213 games for Dortmund, including 21 in 24 this season. And they're not doing that well. He's apologised to the Dortmund fans for the way that he handled leaving, saying, first of all, sorry for everything that's happened the last month, but I already wanted a transfer last summer and it didn't work out. But now it had to be. Maybe it wasn't the best way for me to choose, but everyone knows that Oba is crazy. And yes, I am a crazy kid. I've made mistakes, but never with malice. 116 minutes per goal for Dortmund. You've got to say that Aubameyang is top 10 strikers in the world, mate. Fact. That's great. Finally, we've got 2 strikers of real quality. It's been years since we've been able to say that as Arsenal fans. Years! It's always been one or none. Incredible. The only real negatives that I see about this deal are really that I don't see him working well with Lacazette. I don't see him playing on the left-hand side. He hasn't played there for a while. I know that Wenger loves to do that, but it's not something that he's done for a while. And where we had with Alexis Sanchez someone that would put in incredible work rate even in the high press, I don't think we're going to see that with Aubameyang. He brings quality, he brings, you know, great finishing, he brings pace, incredible movement inside the box. He is capable of scoring from outside the box, although does so very rarely, like the one against Tottenham. Beautiful goal. What I would be worried about from a tactical perspective is that in Aubameyang and Lacazette, you have 2 guys that love to play through the middle. In Mkhitaryan and Mesut Ozil, you have 2 guys that love to play at number 10 through the middle. There's no real natural wide man. So I still think that there's a lot of work to be done. And I think we need that wide player simply because if you look at the majority of Aubameyang's goals, his movement and positioning is what's getting him there, but it's almost always of a whipped delivery, low crosses or just whipped deliveries in general. And that means we're going to need someone who can cross the ball, which as it stands we don't really have. It's a great deal. It's a hugely exciting deal for me. It's the player that I've wanted for years. But the one thing I don't understand is why other clubs weren't interested in him and why Arsenal really were unchallenged for this guy's signature. What I think he does bring though is he's a superstar. He's a big brand name, and that is exciting. It's going to attract players to the club of a similar ilk and tempt those guys that we want to stay on to sign new contracts.
You have 3 outcomes. You could have come out of January in exactly the same situation, dressing room split, still Sanchez in the side, knowing that he'd go for a 3 in the summer, right? Or you would have let Sanchez go and potentially even let Ozil go and not really had a like for like. Or you bring in, in fact, Aubameyang on top of Mkhitaryan is top, isn't it?
Alexis Sanchez, because Alexis Sanchez was absolutely world class, but as I said, in about the last 6 months, he's definitely wanted a move.
They've got a great deal, Arsenal. They've made good of a bad situation. They shouldn't have let themselves get into the situation, right? Agreed? But I think they've kind of redeemed the situation.
Do you actually rate Mkhitaryan?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I think he's a very, very good player.
What's going on, Periscope? How you doing? We've got Johnny Gould in the building.
Hello.
We've got Statman Dave in the building. Let's talk about Mkhitaryan for a moment. He's made the headlines today. Arsene Wenger, when questioned about him, said that he's got to look at him and how his confidence is. You know, he's potentially quite fragile. What is it exactly that he's got that is going to be useful for Arsenal that perhaps wouldn't work under Jose?
Well, I think it's quite an interesting one because if you look at the stats, let's jump in there straight away.
Yeah.
You know, Paul Pogba's got 9 assists in the Premier League this season. For Manchester United, Mkhitaryan is joint second. He hasn't played. He's played 2 games since October. But in terms of what he'd bring Arsenal, I think it's that killing instinct on the counter-attack that we saw so frequently for United this season. A lot of his passes was the final pass in a move, you know, to unlock a defence, to play Lukaku through, to play Martial through. And I feel with Arsenal, of course, you've got, you know, Mesut Ozil, a wonderful number 10, an unbelievable number 10. But to combine that with Mkhitaryan, we saw what Mkhitaryan did with Mata this season, sort of the Mickey-Mata relationship. For me, Arsenal are going to get a top-class playmaker that, given the right management style, you know, Thomas Tuchel got the best out of him. Mourinho got really good phases out of him, I'd say. But Wenger's that type of guy to sit back and be like, look, Henrik, you've had a bit of a troubled time in the Premier League so far. Just go and play your football.
I know I'm talking to Arsene's son here, but I would say that Arsene Wenger would be a better manager of the delicate and brilliant talent of Mkhitaryan than Jose Mourinho. The guy is a very gifted, beautiful player. Jose Mourinho isn't necessarily in the business of improving players like Wenger or indeed like Pep Guardiola.
So I was watching your Rebel FC video, it was very impressive, but I've noticed you're in the videos quite a lot.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Cam, innit?
What?
What?
So, you're on the bench quite a lot, aren't you?
No, I've been injured for like 4 weeks.
Bruv, he's calling you a bencher.
Does he even play football?
I must have watched about 10 videos, and I swear to God, 75% of the content on Benchcam is you on the sideline shouting things.
I mean, I feel like he's sending shots for you right now.
And in the other video was him getting sent off, wasn't it? So,
I'm leaving. Cheers, guys. Cheers, Will.
Chelsea are planning to replace under fire Antonio Conte with ex-Barcelona boss Luis Enrique. With Alexis Sanchez going one way, Mkhitaryan going the other, who do you think's got the best side of that deal and why?
I'm surprised because I feel like he will be awesome for Arsenal. He's suited for Arsenal, and the only time he's
Who are you talking about, Mkhitaryan?
Yeah.
Okay.
His only bad stage in his career really was when he was injured at Dortmund and he kept coming in and out of the team, and then when he was at United, but that was because at United he didn't get a chance, and also he just doesn't suit Jose really.
You don't know any Russians, do you?
Sorry?
Russians.
Obviously, United have got a top-class player who's ready made for the Premier League. He's hasn't got that time like Lacazette has, for instance, for us this season to bed in. But I think we've got a good deal in the case that instead of getting, as I said, 20 million in the bank, we've got a top-class player who can play really well. So you never know. You could turn the tables. United fans at the end of the season might regret letting Mkhitaryan go.
Live and exclusive at the Emirates, right? Look at the view. Look at the view, lad. This all courtesy of your man. Check him out on Twitter as well. Wills Have Skills. I'll leave his link in the description box below, yeah? Let's go, Alex. Come on, baby. Come on. Yes! Yeah! Yes, him! Come on, baby! Come on! Come on! Get him! Yes, baby! Come on! Wherever we'll be. Okay, 2-1, baby. We're going to Wembley. Welcome to the vlog, Kyle. Wembley, on, talk to me. Buzzing.
We're buzzing for that. Hopefully,
We are buzzing, but it's Man City. So.
No, hopefully you can beat us 50-50.
What?
Come a photo, please.
With me?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, you're recording? Hi.
The problem is the club has spent so much money on Morata. They've invested a lot of money on
Yeah.
a lot of money on him. Do you know what I mean? And they're praying for it to sort of work out. At the moment, it's not working out, is it? So I think it will just take a bit of time for him to settle in, and we don't really have time at the moment. We need to win trophies. You know what I mean?
It's a massive blow to lose Alexis, but this shows the character and the resilience and the strength of the team.
Do you think Mkhitaryan's going to be a good addition?
I think so. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Obviously, Alexis is a superb player, and we really miss him. But unfortunately, we've got to move on.
It is what it is.
And Aubameyang as well.
Oh, Bam P. Okay. Oh, Bam P. Welcome to the arse.
Yeah, sorry. Yo.
Cheers, mate.
For more on this and all the big stories making today's papers, we're joined live in the studio by Talksport 2 presenter hughwizzy. Hugh, good morning.
Good morning, Alan. Good morning, Joe. How you doing?
How did your team do this weekend, Hugh?
Oh, mate, really?
Yeah.
Can you see him start for Chelsea?
Well, the only thing about Giroud, Joe, he drifts in and out of games, but his goal ratio to games played and how many he scores is very good.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it, man. You know, talk about football all day.
Happy days, mate.
Right?
It's easy. Good way you can get it, isn't it?
Exactly.
We're talking about VAR. Hugh, what are the papers reporting?
Right, Alan Shearer and John Cross both writing pieces on VAR. Obviously, you know, a complete and utter catastrophe the way this is all going so far. And it's got to be said that changes have got to be made if this is going to be successful, or if people are going to tolerate it. As a fan, you're paying good money to turn up. I do not want to be sitting around absolutely clueless as to what's going on umpteen times during a game.
Yeah.
As it stands, that is the way it is, and ref and FA Premier League bosses all want to use big screens in stadiums to avoid confusion, bring that waiting time down. You know, it works in cricket. I don't see any reason why it can't work in football.
Rugby league is the best sport. Rugby union for using it. I cannot understand, Hugh, how they haven't just gone, right, how does this work in that sport? Okay, this is how we're going to use it here. I mean, the challenge is that now using it for subjective matters, which you can't do. You can only use it, really, I think, the technology for objective. So is it offside, yes or no? Is there any reason we can't kind of allow that try, as they say in rugby, or allow that goal?
Jeremy Cross in the Star is saying that it's quite ironic that Pochettino's being linked to Real Madrid because all he's mastered is the art of flattering to deceive. And if proven winners have failed at Madrid consistently, why on earth would Pochettino work? I've got to say, it's nearly 10 years to the day since Spurs won a trophy. And although he's been in...
No.
Listen,
like being counted. You got like a stop or an app on
we
your
were
phone
all
or something.
too happy on TalkSport to lay into Arsene Wenger for the amount of time it took Arsenal to win a trophy, and I think it's only fair that Pochettino and Klopp are actually put under the radar and the microscope a little bit more themselves because we've been waiting a while now. He's an icon to me. He's someone that is massively disrespected in this country.
Fair enough. I agree with that.
Hello, listen guys, thanks very much for having me in. Pleasure.
Let me know on that.
Yes mate, I'll get them to get in touch. That would be fantastic to have you on. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on board. My name's been hughwizzy and this has been a lot of fun. Peace.